Hello everyone and welcome to another Wild Edibles episode, where today we're going to be talking about the dock plant again, but this time you'll see there's no seeds on it. So, well, that's a bust, except this plant is perennial. So, in the next spring, the leaves shoot back up and the leaves are edible. Now, in the early spring like this is just about the only time when it's a good idea to eat the leaves of this plant raw. Because once they get bigger, they get a lot more bitter, and then you need to cook them. Cooking them not only makes them less bitter, but it also reduces the amount of oxalic acid in this plant, which is actually quite high. So, eating a large leaf will give you a very large dose of oxalic acid, which can cause kidney stones, and although you'd have to eat a lot of it, it could be immediately toxic. However, since the leaves are smaller, you'd have to eat way more of them in order to subject yourself to a high dose of oxalic acid, and therefore, if you wanted to, you could chop a few of these up in a salad, and there wouldn't be any issue. However, in my opinion, whether young or old, cooked or raw, the leaves of this plant are firmly a survival food, because it's just way better to let the plant go to seed, because the seeds are a very nutritious and quite decently tasting grain substitute. Whereas at the times of year where the leaves will be available, there are no shortage of other leafy greens that taste better. And as for the taste, still bitter, although less bitter than when the plant is an adult, but still bitter. And a little bit of that sour oxalic acid, but overall just not a very pleasant thing to eat. The only advantage of this plant at this time of year is that it's very easy to spot from a distance, because it will be growing where the stalks are. So if you can spot the stalk, you can find some of the leaves. Also, it should be noted that sometimes the stalks, especially closer to the center stalk, still have some seeds on them, and those should still be edible. There are also other species in the genus, which, as far as wild edibles are concerned, are functionally the same. They might taste different, but as I said, this is basically a survival food, so taste really isn't the defining factor. It's the nutrition that you'll get from the leaves that you might need to keep you going. Overall, because of the ease at which they can be spotted at a distance, these are a very good survival food. Although, I wouldn't exactly go out of my way to forage them and eat them outside of a survival situation. Hope you all enjoyed. See ya.